a very, very good singles wrestler and one half of one of the top tag teams all time, especially in the Sunshine State, Florida. He and his also famous brother excelled in amateur wrestling in college, Oklahoma State University. Go Cowboys. He is an NWA Florida champ, Florida Junior champ, NWA Florida TV champ, NWA US Tag champ, there's more, NWA North American Tag champ, NWA Southern champ, Florida Tag Team champ 8 times. That's right, 8. Booker T, not 5, 8 times with Brother Jack. I don't care what you've seen on YouTube, he's no stooge. He's been very successful in the ring and behind the scenes, and he's also a proud Native American. Thank you, WWE Hall of Famer Jerry Brisco. How you doing, sir?
Oh, man, after that introduction, I think I'll go out the door and come back in and make sure it's the right person.
I know I got the right person.
I'm doing great, Jim, up here in rainy Tampa, Florida. You got that sunshine down in Miami?
Yeah, it's sunny today. They have. I know we had a little rain earlier, but now it's sunny, so the rain must have moved your way and all. But it's hot as anything. We're getting back. It's getting back to summertime heat.
Oh, man, it's getting our time of year when we got the state to ourselves, man. We got the state to ourselves now, though.
Yeah, how about that? That's true.
Unfortunately.
What unfortunately is right. What have you been doing to just stay indoors, things like that? I mean, just things to keep busy and all. Have you been checking out social media as far as just anything going on? Or what have you been doing during these times?
Jim, I've been doing a little bit of everything, man. I'm fortunate. When I first came to Florida, I'm an Okie and always been a country boy. So I started looking north of Tampa for some property. My brother had a house out north of Tampa, about 40 minutes from the airport, and he bought a place out there. So I looked around in the neighborhood there. Couldn't afford his neighborhood, so I went to the next couple of neighborhoods over and found me a nice place with a few acres on it and a lake on it. So I've taken this time. I had my son Wes, as you know, come over. He did some of the heavy work. Joe, my other son Joe, actually started it. And I had my wife out pulling weeds in the lake until she tried to interrupt a dog fight and got the worst end of it. And so from there on, since with this thing gone down, I've cleaned like 210 foot of lakefront, man. We're going from a bush trail into a mirrored screen lakefront. Now, I've worked my butt off, man. That's what I've been doing.
Hey, have you been doing any fishing then?
Oh, man, I'm not going to tell everybody where I'm at because I got West caught a 12-pound bass right off the end of my dock. I mean, it was unbelievable. And we caught several others out there. Since I've cleaned the lakefront, it seems like where we're getting more. And so, I've fished. We caught just about every damn bass in the lake. But we throw them back to be caught again. We're catch and release people. And unless we're real hungry, then there's a lot of brim out there we take care of, or we're eating with the brim.
Well, I'm not going to tell you to give away your hot spot because those are coveted in Florida, as you know.
Yes, they are. People fight over them. And it's a private lake, so we're pretty well protected here. Unless you know somebody, you ain't getting on this lake. There's lots of older type people on this lake. My one neighbor been there. He bought the house from his parents, but when he was like 12, 13 years old, teenager, him and a couple of neighborhood buddies of his used to come over and shoot rats out of my barn here because I had an orange grove. My property was basically an old orange grove, and so they come over and shoot the rats out and keep the rat population down for me. So they've lived here forever, and the people on the other side of me, the house is like 14 acres. It's sold like 5 or 6 times, and I've never had a neighbor actually live there very long. And Lehman Bennett, the Buccaneers coach, lived next door to me for about a year and a half until he got fired. Then I hollered at him, Lehman, don't jump off your dock. He was out there with his dog one day sitting on the end of the dock today. He got fired, and I just heard on TV he got fired. So I hollered out the window. when the limit don't jump, and he weighed me over, and he said, "Don't feel sorry for me. I just got $3 million for getting fired." I said, "Well, good luck. What you gonna do?" He said, "I'm going to Georgia and open me a Ford truck dealership," and that's exactly what he did. So he's happy, and so the house is sitting vacant now. So I'm out here basically alone. My wife and I. So we have my 3 dogs, my 3 pets. I got Danny Hodge, I got Hercules, and I got Summer. So those are my pets.
Those are just right there. I don't know where to go because, first of all, Coach Lehman Bennett, that's awesome right there in itself. And I'll tell you what, that college and pro coaching, I think it's the best gig to get fired from. College and pro football coaching, because those contracts are done so well that if the team lets them go, yeah, they get a nice payday. They get a nice payday to release it. It's almost like you don't want to finish your contract out.
Willie Taggart, he bankrupt Florida State there and getting now on his out contract there. That ain't a bad gig.
Right? That's exactly right. Most of them, when they get these contracts, they're built in that if the team fires them, they're going to get a huge payday anyway. It's crazy. Where then NFL players, the way it works for them, if they get released, they don't get paid the rest of their contract. Really crazy. Crazy how that all works out, but that's the way it goes.
That's really the way it should be. That's the way wrestlers are, too. You don't wrestle, you don't get paid. So, unfortunately, with the virus nationwide, my son being an independent wrestler, they're all hurting. I've got so much respect for these young men. They're all struggling to find things to do, and without crowds in there, you can't make a living. So they're working, and when they come back, I hope everybody flocks to see these independent guys and really support them, buys their merchandise, buys their pictures, buys their T-shirts, and whatever else little gimmicks they got for sale, because they're there to entertain you, and they're going to come back in shape. I know my son's he's working out. He's probably the best cardio shape because there's no gym to work out in, but he's exercising with being an high school wrestler. He knows how to put the exercise on and keep his definition and all that, and his cardio. So I know he's working hard. He's working on his promos. He's working on everything. So I hope everybody else out there, all the young wrestlers, no matter what level you are, no matter what league you're in, if you're amateur, professional, or MMA, use this time to get better, study video, and practice, man.
And that comes from somebody who was an outstanding wrestler at Oklahoma State University, so not only pro wrestler, but also amateur wrestler as well, and knows a little something about staying fit and keeping healthy. That's some good words, Jerry. Hey, you mentioned Wes, and you mentioned what Wes is doing, and geez, Wes had been tearing it up on the indies. I mean, he was going all over the place, not just Florida. I saw him a couple times in Florida, but he's been going all different places and all. How has it been going for him wrestling-wise? I know not right now, but prior to that.
Well, thanks for asking, Jim. He's been doing wonderful. Like you say, he goes everywhere. He's been out in California. He's been up in Canada several times. He's had a couple of trips to South Africa. Matter of fact, 2 trips just got canceled to South Africa, 2 tours that he had on. And they were going to go up in mid-Africa, too, a couple of countries up in that. He was really looking forward to it. Going to South Africa is a unique experience in its own. I've had the opportunity to be over there 3 or 4 times myself, and great thing about it was 1995 the last time I was over there. Or 2000, I'm sorry, 2005 the last time I was over there. And I took a picture standing on a cliff, and when Wes went back, I was with a group of guys. When Wes went back, he had the same amount of group of guys standing in the exact same spot 25 years later and take a photo. And that's great. It's something that he cherishes and I cherish, for to be in the same place, different decades. So he like I said, he's been making a name for himself on the independent circle. He's got several local championships around that the promoters have trusted him with, and so he's working hard to get better, just like all these guys are. I ran into Brian Pillman Jr. not long ago, and Matt Seidel, and they both told me, their home workout regimens are going good. So they are working out, and all these kids are trying to stay in proper shape for you.
Hey, Jerry, have you got to see Wes and Garrett Bischoff hook up as a tag team? I got to see them work as a tag team. They looked really good working together.
It seems like they have that chemistry, just like they've been together forever, almost like they're brothers. And I got so much respect for Garrett. Being second generation like he is and Wes is, it's really tough. I mean, the pressures that are put on you, and not everybody's gonna like it, because of your name. They're gonna say you're only here because of your name. But both of them have had to put up with that. But when those two kids get in the ring, when those two dudes get in the ring, they work as good and as hard as anybody that on the card. And they didn't get there by the name. Wrestling, Jim, and you don't make it by your name alone. You gotta have talent in there, and it just shows that the amount of bookings that these two kids do, what kind of talent they actually have. And haters are gonna be haters, and fans are gonna be fans. But these kids work hard, and they're up against the wall just by their last name, and it's not fair. But they deal with it.
Yeah, that last name may get you in the door, but it's your talent and your work ethic, your determination that's going to keep you in that door.
Exactly, and that's what both of these guys have, is both the determination and their skills. So they've been around it all their life. Why shouldn't they, right?
Hey, the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. So when you and Jack were getting into pro wrestling, and Jack got into it first, and of course both of you are proud Native Americans. I thought about this, Jerry. I don't think I ever asked you this, and it's interesting to me because when you look back in the history, like a Wahoo McDaniel, a Chief J Strongbow, Jules Strongbow, Chief Billy Whitecloud, even Tatanka, more recent, most of the Native Americans in pro wrestling were portrayed, whether they were Native American or playing a character, but they were portrayed, they wore the Native American ring garb or they wore the headdress and all. But when you and Jack wrestled, you guys didn't do that. I know you're proud of your history, but I always wondered now if there was ever a time where you guys thought of doing that, or no, it was just like, we're just going into wrestling, we're wrestlers, we're Jack and Jerry Brisco, and that's what we're going to do.
Well, I'm glad you asked that, and the names are true Native Americans, and that's what I'm proud of. The Chief Wahoo McDaniel, Tatanka, and then some of those other guys you mentioned. They're all Native Americans. Jack and I actually turned down, I didn't turn it down. I didn't get the gig because I refused to do that to Vince McMahon Sr. actually asked Jim Barnett, when they were looking for somebody to have Jay Strongbow's partner up in New York, and of course Strongbow was an Italian, a New Jersey Italian, playing an Indian character, and I'm quite honest, my brother and I both we didn't like that. We felt that they were taking advantage of Native Americans and making money off of it. When there was Native American out there that could have been better, but I didn't want to do it, and of course I didn't get the gig up there. But it would have been a good gig, but I would have had to leave Jordan and stop being Jerry Brisco also. Our gimmick coming out of school, we were wrestlers. We didn't need anything else. We had Gordon solely to tell everybody we were Native Americans, to tell everybody about the spirit and the talent of Native Americans, the athletic ability of Native Americans. So we didn't need to go out there and rub it in anybody's face by wearing a headdress. We just went out there and worked hard and showed people that what Native Americans are all like, and I think we represented our Chickasaw Nation very well, and both Jack and I are in the Chickasaw Nation Hall of Fame now. And so I'm proud of that fact that we never really wore a headdress. I stole one time from Jay Youngblood, who's Mexican, but he actually has Navajo Indian blood running through it. I had native Navajo Indian blood running through his veins when the young man was still on earth with us. And so I stole one from him, told him he was a disgrace to the nation and everything. And I wore it one time, and I tell you, Jim, I never felt so strange having something on. I felt like I was overdressed and felt like I was overstepping my boundaries. So I take a lot of pride, like you say, in being a Native American. And we never had any thought of all about doing it. It wasn't that we were, mad at anybody for doing it. I wasn't mad at Jay Strongbow. He was making a living, but I was upset about, people believing. I mean, I still got people today who will fight me over the fact that, he wasn't a Native American. It's kind of ridiculous. Look it up, folks.
It is interesting because, right, when it came out with, what was it, Scarpa? I can't remember his name.
Joe Scarpa.
An Italian. Well, he had the Italian schnoz. That should have gave it away, the nose.
The nose, yeah. We have some strange-looking noses ourselves. Just look at mine. And Jack, they're all over the place.
But it is something. You were a proud Native American. But you know what? Stereotypes back in the day was always a thing, too, in the 70s. When you had the German wrestlers, they had to be the heels because of the Germany and Nazi Germany in the war. I mean, it was a different era back then than it is now for things like that. But it was cool to see that you and Jack were able hey, we're wrestlers. We love being Native Americans. We're proud of that, but we're wrestlers, too. And it really set apart you two, I think, from everybody else as well, which lent itself to the abilities that you had more than anything else. And with that, how did it go that you two were able to transition, do you think, so successfully from amateur wrestling to the pro ranks? Because you both did it very well.
Well, we wanted to, number one, and it's just hard work and, the background that we came from. We wanted to get out of the rut that we were in, and that's not saying anything. My mom was a single mom of 6 children, and she had to work 2 or 3 jobs to support us. So we saw that work ethic real early in our life and knew what it meant to survive. And so I think my mom kind of passed that work ethic on to Jack and I, and when we come out, we didn't want anything else to be but wrestlers. I mean, we didn't want to be nothing else but be known as wrestlers. So that's what we worked at really hard to become.
Jerry, did you ever wrestle Jack professionally?
No, and I always regret that. Nowadays, I always told Bret Hart, I was so jealous. I'd tell Bret, I'm so jealous that you get to work with your brother on. I would have loved to have been in an era where that could have happened. The only time we came close, Dory Sr. out in Amarillo talked into it one time, letting us do that, And I was thinking about teaming up with Terry, and Jack was going to go with Dory. We were going to wrestle each other like that. But things happened, and it never come to fruition, unfortunately.
Oh, gosh, that would have been unbelievable. And then you think of the different storylines that could have come out of that.
There was so many storylines.
Yes, because it's even like you guys are wrestling against each other, brothers against brothers, but then all of a sudden brothers take sides with each other again. And there could be so many things that could have been done with that. Oh, my, wow.
That was the plan for an Omni Thanksgiving show, matter of fact.
Wow. Oh, man. I know. So many great ideas we've seen, and then so many that, if only somehow it could have happened. Well, Jerry, I'm wondering about this. We always know the tag team as Jack and Jerry Brisco. Could it have been Jerry and Jack Brisco?
That's what I always said, but I always respected my elders. Jack being 5 years older than me, it was Jack and Jerry, and it was Eddie Graham, and I was Gerald when I came here. It was Jack and Gerald, when the very first time we ever teamed together in Oklahoma or Missouri, wherever it was. I was Gerald Brisco. And the funny thing about Gerald Brisco, I'm Gerald now. I've come full circle with my name. I was Gerald Brisco when I arrived in Tampa. Eddie was going to team us up. He said, okay, Jack and Gerald. Okay, that's okay, but it sounds a little formal. How about Jack and Jerry with a J? I said, that's okay with me. So we became the Brisco Brothers, Jack and Jerry Brisco. Then when we went up to Vance up in New York for this Jr., he said, what the hell is Jerry spelled with a J for? You see, he spelled Gerald with a G, don't you? And I said, yeah. He said, well, you're Jerry with a G now. So I went from Gerald to Jerry with a J, now I'm Jerry with a G. And then after a few years, working for Vince and then working beside him and then working in the office with him, all my friends and well-known acquaintances all call me Gerald. So he started calling me Gerald. Of course, when he started calling me Gerald, everybody else, of course, started calling me Gerald. So my name did a 360, man. It went from Gerald to Jerry, back to Gerald, and I'm just plain old Gerald now.
Does it get confusing at all?
It gets real confusing. People come up, with these cards that I'm fortunate enough to have and want me to sign, and some of them have Gerald Brisco, some of them have Jerry with a G, some of them have Jerry with a J. And I'll look up and hey, which name you want me to sign on this? Excuse me, one man's thundering here, so my doctor is going to run the thunder off for me.
Is that Danny Hodge?
Danny Hodge in the background.
All right, so you got to give me a little backstory on that, because I remembered you said that earlier in the conversation, and I was going to bring that back up, and since the dog is there now, so what was the inspiration for naming the dog Danny Hodge?
Well, we got Danny Hodge. My son Wes, I'm going to tell you a kind of seminal story to us, and a brief story. I'll make it short. He brought us a dog, a pit bull, and of course I bought in all that trash, you can't trust a pit bull. So Wes started working full time, so we ended up keeping the dog. Handsome Tank was his name. And so I gave all my dogs wrestling names somehow. So Handsome Tank come along. We had Handsome Tank for about 13 years, and Handsome Tank passed away last year. So my wife was a volunteer at a shelter, a no-kill shelter, a county shelter. And so she brought home a dog, after Handsome Tank passed away, and he was up for to be transferred over to the county shelter where he would be euthanized. And the dog's name was Otto, and I did Otto. I'm an old man, so I like the old Jim Otto and football players, the Oakland Raiders, way back in the 60s and 70s. So that's okay. We kept Otto for a while. And then, Danny Hodge had his 86th or 85th birthday, so I called Danny one day, and I just looked down, and I know the hard times that Danny Hodge had. Danny Hodge lived in a cave when he was a preteen, on the side of a river, because his dad was so abusive to him. Danny ran away and just dug him a hole on the side of the river and lived in the damn thing and went to school, went to the fire department to eat and shower and all that stuff. And this poor dog, Otto, he had been beaten up, and he had scars all over his eye, his left eye, big scar tissue, and on his hip where he had been and I guess he was one of those training pits or whatever. You throw them in a pit, and if they don't fight, you just beat them up and get rid of them. And he was abandoned, and they found him, but he'd been at the shelter. Like, everybody liked him because of his disposition was so nice and everything. He was such a survivor. So my wife brought him home. Like I said, we kept the name Otto for a few days, and I talked to Danny on his birthday, and I looked down at Hodge. He's kind of red and white, and that was the color of OU. Danny wrestled in college, and I said, "Hey, Danny," we just started calling him Hodge, and my wife calls him Danny, and I call him Hodge, so he's a little confused. And so that's really how he got his name. He's a sweetheart of a dog, really, real protective dog, and like I said, he keeps the thunder away from my home here.
Oh, that's great. That is awesome.
Hercules was an hour away from being euthanized here at the Hillsborough County Animal Shelter. And my wife heard about it through one of those shack clubs she belongs to, and she and a friend went down. I thought it was going to be for the friend, but brought Hercules in. Hercules Hernandez. Ray Hernandez here at local Tampa boy was a good friend of mine, so he became Hercules. And then he brought Summer home, and so, I was a big fan of Summer Ray, so there she is, Summer right there. So, all my dogs are named after wrestlers.
Hey, you mentioned Jim Otto. What a great Raiders team. He was a star center for that team on an awesome offensive line. Gene Upshaw and just that whole John Madden with the head coach for that team and all. They did Kenny Stabler, the Snake, the quarterback, Fred Biletnikoff. That was, you mentioned Jim Otto. That brought back some, me as a Dolphins fan, it's not good memories that I bring back, but it does bring back memories of that Raiders team. Oh, man.
They were the true intimidators at that time in the place, weren't they? I mean, if you had been a Dolphin, you know well because AFC there. But my sister was engaged to an Oakland Raider original, Dan Birdwell, linebacker for played out at Houston University. And got drafted in the first or second round to Houston. They were engaged, and then they went out and became a Raider. And of course, the engagement went away after that.
The Raiders.
Now I started out being a Raider fan. That's the reason I knew Otto and all those guys, Biletnikoff, and I mean, what a team that is. They talk about a football team. That was a talented football team on that match.
Yeah, back in the day, if you talk like the Dallas Cowboys, the Oakland Raiders when they were Oakland, and there were some, and the Dolphins, of course the Dolphins with Coach Shula. I mean, some really great teams and all. You mentioned that, okay, the dog's name Hercules, and then you had a dog that was was it Hurricane Tank?
A Handsome Tank.
Handsome Tank. So is Hercules named after Hercules Ayala or Hercules Hernandez?
Hercules Hernandez. Ray, because he's from Tampa and he was already a really good friend of mine.
And then you said that. So that was Hercules Hernandez. Was Tank named after Tank Patton?
Well, that West named him, but I'm sure he was. I will say he was. I called him Handsome after Handsome Johnny Brand, you know.
Well, that I could see, because I was going to say, no offense to Tank Patton, but he wasn't too handsome.
Handsome Harley Race.
That's one. Okay, I want to go back to Jack, because I didn't ask this part of the question. I wanted to ask you about, did you ever, even training, do amateur wrestling against Jack?
Oh, man. My mom, she made us pass up so many holes in the wall. I mean, we were one of those wrestling families. You come home from wrestling practice as if you hadn't had enough, 2.5 hours, 3 hours of working your butt off, and somebody says something, and it's clear the furniture, move the furniture back. And we had so many holes in the walls from kicking and punching and all that stuff. I had a lot of workouts with Jack. And then when we got in college, Coach Roderick used to like to put us together because I was really the only one in the room that wasn't scared of Jack. I mean, I respect him, but I wasn't scared of him. Hell, he was my brother. He ain't going to kill me. I hope anyway. So one day I'll never forget, Roderick put us together. It was right before the Big 12 and maybe the national tournament. He said, you guys go 3 minutes, don't stop until I blow the whistle. So we were going, and Jack was a smoker back in the days, and unfortunately that's what got Jack, but he smoked back when he was a teenager, back in the 50s and 60s out in Oklahoma. Smoking was popular for teenagers, so Jack was a smoker, so I knew if I pushed Jack a little bit, I could get him puffing at it, but as long as he didn't take me down and ride me, I was okay. So I just push him off. Finally, one time, man, it was there. The light was there. I shot so hard, and I took Jack down and boom, right to his back. Everybody in the practice room stopped, and Jack got so pissed at me, he shoved me off, but he slugged me right in the damn eye and gave me a black eye right there in the wrestling room. I was living at home because back in those days, you only had so many scholarships, so I was getting books and tuition. I didn't get room and board because I was a local guy, so I had to go home. Now my eyes swollen out. My mom said, "What happened?" I said, "Your son." She said, "Jack, do that." Boy, she called Jack, and Jack got an ass chewing like he'd never had before. Well, I went back the next day, and Roderick went to put us together. I said, "Coach, I'm going to work with him, but I don't know if I'll take him down again." Jack proceeded to kick my ass that day. So, we had some go around. We had some holes in the wall when we were growing up, just like all wrestling families do.
That is so awesome.